Bruce Lee said that I fear a man not who has 1,000 kicks. I fear a man who has done one kick 1,000 times.
You were one of the few people who got a chance to meet Messi.
And I got almost 2 hours with him.
Wow.
I think Shah Rukh Khan got 2 minutes.
What? Really?
Yeah.
Oh, damn. You've trained some really incredible women. You've trained some incredible celebrities.
Yeah.
And somebody that I personally love is actually Alia Bhatt.
Yeah, she's a mother. She has her own business. She is an actor and she's ultra disciplined. I'm honest about that.
Yeah?
Like with food, with sleep most of the times, and with training. Like even if it's a 10-12 hour shoot, we're still training.
How did you land your first celebrity as a client?
As an actor, the first person I trained was Arjun Rampal actually.
Oh, really?
We trained for a periodic film he was doing. He lost 8.5 kgs in 4 weeks for that.
That's possible.
Unbelievable with food.
What is one problem that people come to you mostly for?
The most common problem I think worldwide is fat loss.
What are some signs that it's time for you to start taking supplements, but in a healthy and informed manner?
A very important sign is low energy levels.
Okay.
Magnesium. Now, magnesium is very important.
And I've actually started taking magnesium glycinate very recently, and I've seen the difference in my body from a heart ring to a Whoop watch. How game-changing do you think these accessories are?
It's good to know, but also you should realize that it should not play with your mind.
Hi Karan, how are you?
Very well. Thank you for having me.
Welcome to Men's XP. I think the pleasure is ours because we have a lot of interesting questions to ask you today. Health and fitness has suddenly, taken center stage in the entire country today, especially among conversations in the youth, because I just feel like it's that time or it's that phase, for us in our lives where finally people are talking about things that affect them physically, and we've sort of ignored it for so many years. So I just personally really like this change, that we're in the middle of, and I would love to pick your brain on the same things. But first things first, I would love to know how you started your own journey.
I mean, see, for me, I started playing football professionally, and that's how it started. I started when I was 7. I played professional football for 16 years in the Indian Super League. Loved my time, learned a lot about sport, about life. And then I was also studying fitness at the same time. And I had started a gym. This was in 2017. Alongside playing football, and that's how the journey began for me. In 2020 is when I started another space, a fitness space, and I decided, okay, it's time for my football career. I mean, it's a decision, of course, that I think about, I miss, but I do not regret it. And I mean, it's been a great journey for me. I mean, I'm enjoying it, and that's what I feel is the most important.
So right now, where are you at in your journey?
So I'll give you a very interesting example. I mean, when I stopped playing football, I'll tell you very honestly, for the first couple of months, I was very, very lost.
Okay.
But then I read this book. It's called Success Principles. And that's where there was the first chapter was take 100% responsibility of your life. And I started the first space I was telling you, that went bankrupt in COVID. And that's when I thought, okay, why did I stop playing football? And blame game started.
Yeah.
Blaming
what if I had done this?
What if I had done this? Blaming your friends, your family, those near to you. And I read another interesting book, which was the autobiography of a yogi. And that talks about where your actual fight is with your inner self. Yeah. And that's where it changed for me. And I run this company called The Tribe. And this has been a very beautiful decision, and I'm in a very happy space. Yeah.
But I think it's so lovely. First of all, I love people who read.
Yeah.
I think, less and less of us have started reading or have started going back to reading because everybody's so used to scrolling on the phone, right? So like major respect for people who actually read in this day and age. Also because it has actually so much wisdom to give. And also, I see so many people around me and so many of my younger cousins, and they're always struggling with understanding what their calling is in life.
Correct.
Right? And I just feel like when you're in the middle of trying to figure out what is it that you were meant for, then you have to, it's like throwing spaghetti on the wall and, figuring out what sticks eventually. But in the middle of all of this, you will be met with failure. Like even you were when you started your own gym. How do you bounce back after facing those failures?
See, honestly, first, I feel you have to find something that you really, really enjoy doing. And most of us, we fail to do so, I would say. And if you really find that, and more importantly, make money out of it, there's nothing better than that, to be honest. And failure it's a part of the game. I mean, we were talking about cricket and football. You lose one match, you win one match.
Yeah.
But I remember my coach telling me that if you're at the top, don't take it to your head. And if you fail, don't take it to your heart.
Yeah.
Find mid-ground, find balance, and just keep going, keep moving.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I agree 100% with it. And my mentor actually, also says something about failure. He says, fail fast, fail often. Like, you're anyway supposed to fail. It's inevitable. Just do it fast and move on and learn from it and move on. So I think that has sort of made my relationship with failure a little more manageable. And,
absolutely.
But, palatable. But going back to who you are and what you do for a living, anybody that I meet in fitness, has this one thing in common, and that is their mindset.
Correct.
Right? It's almost like, it's exactly similar to that of an athlete.
Correct.
And athletes also have like an elite mindset. And मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि personally ना सारे लोगों की सबसे बड़ी struggle जिम में जाके कुछ करना नहीं होती, जिम तक पहुंचना होती है. Right? मतलब घर से निकलने तक उस destination पे पहुंचना जहाँ पे you have to expend yourself physically is the real challenge and not actually the challenge that you have to go through. So in that regard, how do you crack that mindset in life?
मतलब motivation की बात कर रहे हो आप?
Motivation तो देखो आज है कल नहीं है. You can't guarantee motivation, right? That's where discipline comes in. That's what I feel. But how to sort of tell yourself that this is the need of the hour, this is what you need to do, because that I think feeds into the discipline part.
Absolutely. See, it's two different things. You keep feelings in one bracket and what you need to do in one bracket. Do I have to motivate you to brush your teeth in the morning? No. You'll do it.
Yeah.
Whatever happens, whether you're hungry, whether you're sad, whether you're happy, in any emotion. It's the same. I mean, okay, I've had a fight at home. It's there. I mean, you identify that, but I still have to train. I have lost money in the market. I identify that, but I still need to train. Where we choose comfort in, okay, now emotional eating or okay, laying in bed, etc. We have to overcome that mindset. It's not a habit, but it's part of your life. It's part of the journey. You have to do it anyway.
Right. And that is actually the most difficult part, but also the most necessary. I think it's one of those things that, the only way out is through. So you have to throw yourself into the mix and you have to just find your way out.
Absolutely, yeah.
Lovely. And, talking about discipline, has there been certain things that have helped you crack that discipline in life?
See, I mean, achievements, yes, when you are achieving certain things, it does help you, it does motivate you, there is gratification in that. But I would say along the way, it is the larger purpose that we spoke of. Like at a very early age, I said I want to become a football player. And first it started off as a dream. Now the dream, turning it into reality, then I realized the kind of work is needed to become a professional athlete. Most people, in whatever they decide, a dream stays a dream because once you realize what you need to do for that, the sacrifice you're not willing to make. So I think if your larger purpose you have in mind and you also have a why, that why could be different for you, different for me. Now I want to become a football player because I want to do something for my mother. I'm just giving an example.
Right.
So there are days I will be down, but then if you remember your why, those are the days you wake up and you keep doing it. Yeah. So I think these two questions you need to really answer for yourself and then figure your path.
That's actually a lovely way to look at it because, if you do attach what you're doing with why you want to do it, then I think it ends the debate right there.
Correct. And again, I'm telling you about a book. It starts with Why is the book's name, and he talks about if you do not end up doing it, your why is not strong enough.
Yeah, that's a hard reality check for all of us. But talking about dreams, you were one of the few people who got a chance to meet Messi.
Absolutely.
When he was on his India tour. How was that experience? Tell all of us football fans.
It was magical. Firstly, I want to tell everyone I got almost 2 hours with him.
Wow.
And people have paid crazy money to get selfies with him.
Yeah.
I think Shah Rukh Khan got 2 minutes.
What? Really?
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
In Kolkata. But for me, it was magical. I mean, I met him, I met Luis Suarez, I met Rodrigo, 3 of them legendary players. But Messi, of course, I mean, just sharing the stage with him. I got a chance to play a rondo. It's a warm-up drill that we generally do in football. Speak to him, speak to his translator as well, of course. But it was something, I mean, not only just a dream come true, but it feels like a dream now.
No, I can totally imagine, and it's almost like surreal when the videos and when everything started coming out. I particularly remember I saw one of your videos actually. I think it was a reel जहाँ पे आप लोग सारे खड़े हुए थे और आप लोग ball pass कर रहे थे, and I was just like that. Any kid right now who's following football, for them to be looking at you, for that matter, that this is an Indian. He's doing well in his life and he's worked hard, and somehow he's gotten to share not just a stage but a moment with a legend like
Absolutely.
Messi. So it must be really so
incredible. And जब उसने मुझे pass दिया, I turned and I was actually a little happy, shocked, because I remembered my 7-year-old self then when I started playing. Because I started watching football because of David Beckham, Ronaldo, Messi, and then actually, I mean, this happening, it was unbelievable.
Yeah. No, I also started watching football because of David Beckham and Cristiano Ronaldo. I will be very candid and say I did it because I found them very pretty.
Of course. I mean, I'll say I find Ronaldo pretty.
He is, right?
He is, of course. He is.
And he's ripped. उनकी बॉडी ऐसे लगता है कि कोई फोटोशॉप करता है जब वो अपनी टी-शर्ट उतारते हैं.
बिल्कुल फोटोशॉप. और I mean, perfect body. I mean, we know the work that goes behind that, but the discipline, the kind, like he's not just his body, everything, like his hair, his skin, the way he walks, the way he talks, everything is like 100%.
Exactly. Even at this age, his jumps, I mean, they're incredible. And people are making reels, people are measuring the distance कि वो कितने उस पे कूद के अपना header लेते हैं, shots लेते हैं. I think it's just incredible.
बिल्कुल.
But if I have to ask you, team Messi or team Ronaldo?
I'll say it's team Ronaldo.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to lie, team Ronaldo for me, but I love Messi because I know he is a magical player. Ronaldo is a product of pure hard work
and grit.
So if I have to follow a path, it has to be the path I know, which is Ronaldo's path. It's not possible to follow this path because that is magic. That is God's hand over there. But Cristiano Ronaldo is a blueprint, I think, for any industry.
Lovely. And talking about celebrities and talking about the industry, let's talk about your professional dossier. You've trained some really incredible women, you've trained some really incredible celebrities within Bollywood, within this glamour industry. And somebody that I personally love is actually Alia Bhatt. So I have to ask you, what is the reason behind that glow on her face?
I'll tell you honestly,
it's unreal.
100%. I'll tell you honestly, like I'm not just saying it because I train her, Alia, I'm not saying it because of that, but she's a mother, she has her own business, she is an actor, and she's ultra disciplined. I'm honest about that, like with food, with sleep most of the times, and with training. Like even if it's a 10-12 hour shoot, we're still training. She still knows about her daughter, every little thing about what her daughter is eating, school timing, pick-up time. She goes to school to pick her up, trains, then goes again, goes for shoot, comes back.
Wow, so she's a hands-on mother.
Fully hands-on.
Wow.
And super clean with her food, like very, very clean with her food. And I mean, I think that reflects, in whatever you do.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, I remember I saw her at this one press conference and, it was like a quick interaction. It wasn't a long interaction. And I just couldn't get over the fact that her glow was just something else. Like it was crystal clear skin, very clean. And, it was just glowing. Of course, she was pregnant at the time. So, that also adds to the charm.
Of course,
But even then, in fact, I recently saw one of her videos and I saved it because I want to experience that moment in my life. I remember she had achieved her first pull-up.
Correct.
And that is a goal that I've set for myself. Mera birthday April mein hai. And, I've told myself that, on April 25th, when it's my birthday, I should be able to do my first pull-up. So when I saw that video of hers, and she did feel a little emotional because that's what she wrote in the caption, it really resonated with me. So do you have some insights into that journey for her?
Yeah, because she had never done a chin-up before, and then when we started training, this was the goal that we wrote down, and we worked backwards then. And I mean, it was a process of feeling heavy on your shoulders, showing up, being sore, feeling tired, still coming up, still training, and still trying to achieve that chin-up every single day. And then there was one fine day she said, let's go for it, I think I feel it. And we did that without any bands, without any support. And it's, you you just go up and you feel emotional because you've been trying that all your life, it hasn't happened, and then you suddenly do it.
Yes.
So I think it's an accumulation of not just hard work, but a lot of other things as well that goes into that one chin up.
No, it's the emotions, it's the discipline, it's the anticipation that, when are you going to be able to do it? And I think when you see yourself doing it, it's just, gives you a boost of confidence.
Absolutely.
But, like going back to the root of all of this, how did you land your first celebrity as a client?
So, it's, I told you I had a space before as well. So at that point, this was right after playing football, and I decided to get into the fitness space. So playing football professionally actually helped my fitness career a lot, because when I speak to someone, there is an added credibility. So I'll definitely say I give a lot of credit to football. And so I started getting inquiries that we want to train in a certain way. This is what I want to achieve, from people from all kinds of fields. But as an actor, the first person I trained was Arjun Rampal, actually.
Oh, really?
Yes, this was in the first year itself, and he had reached out because he is also extremely athletic, and he had reached out through his manager, and obviously it was a no-brainer because he's also an example of fitness.
Yeah.
We trained for a periodic film he was doing. He lost 8.5 kgs in 4 weeks for that, and
that's possible.
Unbelievable with food. Unbelievable. And we were training twice a day for that.
Oh my God.
And I think then once you do that, it speaks for itself, because then his journey, his transformation leads to other people reaching out, or in the same industry, different industries, and that's where it actually began. And then when we started the tribe, we started on the beach. We used to have a few cones because the other place shut down, and we had to start all over again. This was when I had 2 other partners, Rob and Anushka, and at that point we used to literally go clean the beach, set up everything so that we can have a good session. And from there we started getting in more clients from more actors as well from that industry.
Do you have favorites?
Do I have favorites? I think honestly I have 3 favorites.
Okay.
I'll say it.
Let's hear it. Yes.
Alia, Kriti and Rashmika. 3 of them who I've trained. The other guys who I'm not saying this to make you all feel bad, because now we have Aishwarya, who's come in a movie, Nishanchi, we've got Agastya, very good. But I've training 3 of them for a long period. Rashmika as well, Kriti, who is super disciplined. She's also a partner at the tribe.
Yes.
But I enjoy it. So yeah.
Nice. So, okay, if I have to ask you, what sort of a transformation are you the most proud of that you've underseen?
I wouldn't say that with actors, because I know there's a drive, they have a goal to achieve. This is someone who I trained post an ACL reconstruction. And that person from not walking can now surf, can ski. So for me was life changing, because so post surgery you can't do much, and then you start skiing, you start surfing. So that has been something which I really enjoy. I've also trained someone who was not in the best space mentally, but nothing to do with fat loss, nothing to do with muscle gain, but now doesn't need therapy. This is therapy, and when you don't train, that's the day you feel something's missing, the anchor is missing in your day. So I think these 2.
Wow, that's such a, people look at fitness only through a particular lens, and that's mostly vanity. But I just feel like talking to people like you, when people start sharing stories, I think that adds that lens of humanity to it as well, which people often neglect in these journeys. And talking about vanity, बहुत बारी ऐसा होता है कि हम लोग सेलिब्रिटीज़ को इंस्टाग्राम पे देखते हैं, ठीक है, और वो किसी ना है ना, तो और वो रील में बात कर रहे होते हैं कि हम ये खाते हैं, ये हमारा डाइट चार्ट है और ये हमारा वर्कआउट रूटीन है, एंड पीपल स्टार्ट फॉलोइंग इट ब्लाइंडली.
Correct.
Not aligning it with their own body and goals and type and everything.
Correct.
So how dangerous it is to blindly follow a celebrity's routine?
It is. See, अभी अगर आपको सर्दी खांसी कुछ है, आप डॉक्टर के पास जाओगे, correct?
हाँ.
So what does a doctor do? He prescribes medicine. So even we prescribe a workout. So it is very similar. अभी अगर कोई दूसरा जाके वही करे, this might not fit the other person. So it's very, not dangerous, but it's not the best to go on YouTube and say, okay, 5 best exercises for your glutes or for your back. You have to see your body type, you have to see your biomarkers, your routine, why do you want to achieve it, what's your profession. So keeping all that in mind and then creating something, that is something that, you know, is very crucial.
Yeah. And what is the basic difference between training a celebrity and training, you know, normal people like us, average Joes?
You know, it's not about a celebrity or normal people. It's I was talking to you earlier, it's interesting for me to train someone who comes with a goal themselves. So like say Alia had a goal, she wants to do a chin up. It was a two-way street.
Okay.
It happened not because of me, because of her as well. Now when somebody who's a business owner comes and says, okay, I want to lose X amount of weight, I want to be a stronger father for my daughter going forward, I want to live longer. So those are also very strong goals. And when that is put in perspective, it's put on paper, then it's easier to achieve those goals. So I think that for me is the most important.
Yeah. And what has been the most challenging goal for you to see through?
The most challenging goal for me, I would say, is consistency. It's not a fitness goal. It is when people come and say, okay, I want abs. But consistency, I'm not talking about training. Training every day, but food consistency. Okay. 3 times a week junk food हो रहा है, रात को कुछ भी खा रहे हैं, फिर सुबह आके वही सवाल कि why do I not have abs?
Yeah.
So it's consistency in your training, in your food, in your sleep, and I genuinely believe in your thoughts as well. Like the way you think, what you do in the 23 hours of your day is more important than your training.
Damn. And इस बात से जो अभी आपने बोली ना कि रात को जंक फूड खाया जा रहा है किसी भी टाइम पे. Okay, so tell me, how do you think this entire food delivery system, quick commerce system is actually impacting people's health in today's day and age?
See, it's very similar to social media, very similar to the internet. You use it to your advantage. Everything is accessible, everything is easy, but if you have control over your mind, you know when to eat, you know when not to eat, that is important. We can't blame anything. That's the world, that's how it's going to be, right? I have one rule. If you have a cheat meal, you do it when you're happy. That's one rule which I follow. Do not do it when you're not feeling happy. बस और कुछ नहीं.
ये मेरे पापा ने भी मेरे को ऐसा कुछ बोला था, थोड़ा सा सिमिलर बोला था, सेम नहीं बोला था. उन्होंने बोला था कि दारू कभी सैड होते हुए नहीं पीनी है, हमेशा खुशी वाले स्टेट में पीनी है.
खुशी वाले स्टेट में. I mean exactly. You don't want to attach it to a negative emotion.
Sentiment. Yeah. And he also told me never have it alone. Like, you know, like don't become that person who if you take an occasional drink, make sure that you take it in a happy space.
Correct.
And, you know, not in a bad headspace.
You have company as well.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Because once you get used to having it alone, that to depressing moments, then life is anyway, you know, the average of life, the happiness quotient is a little less than sad moments.
Correct.
So then to your liver is...
जो भी सब कुछ ही मतलब everything, that's true, very true. And whatever our parents tell us, mom, dad, dada dadi and all, they are saying the right things. जल्दी सो, जल्दी उठो, ये खाओ, ये मत खाओ. We need to put that. अभी सब वो LA में हो रहा है, योगा, टर्मरिक लाटे, जो हमने पहले बहुत
यहाँ से इंस्पायर होके वहाँ पे हो रहा है, फिर वहाँ पे जो मेन स्ट्रीम हो जाएगा तो यहाँ के लोग वहाँ से वापस इंस्पायर हो जाएंगे.
वही, exactly.
So that is happening. That's true. So, you know, as an expert in the fitness industry, you've spent a lot of years working in this space. आपको क्या लगता है कि what is like the next problem that you see on the cusp of becoming an epidemic? And people need to solve for, or people need to be, you know, careful about, because, you know, there was a time where, and the time is still here, for example, people started having a lot of cardiac episodes, right?
Correct.
Especially young people.
Yeah.
और उसका अभी भी चल रहा है, because every other day I'm getting calls, I'm getting to know somebody, you know, who I knew, or somebody in whatever family has, you know, had a heart attack or things like these. But there is still awareness around it now because it's been happening over a period of time.
Correct.
What do you think will be the next problem that people can preempt?
See, I feel having an active lifestyle, because the way that everything is moving, it's making you more sedentary. Whether it's technology, whether it's getting things done, everything is at the click of a button. But you have to be in a space, it's not just about training that 1 hour. You have to make sure you're as active as possible. Now, earlier, we used to go down and play in our buildings. We used to go down and play wherever we were. All that is going down, right? At this point.
Because kids are more on their iPads and, you know, none of that is
exactly happening. I mean, all of that can be used and put into good work, good knowledge. I'm not against those things because we can't change that.
Right.
We have to live with it. But you really need to be as active as possible, and along with that, it's your thoughts. Like if you're managing to stay happy as much as possible or happy throughout.
No, I completely agree with that. In fact, I was watching this podcast. Uspe Andrew Huberman was talking about it, and he'd said this one line. He said that being sedentary in itself is a disease.
100%, yeah.
So and unfortunately बहुत सारे लोग जो स्पेशली कॉर्पोरेट कल्चर में हैं और जो ये आज पॉडकास्ट देखेंगे उनकी लाइफस्टाइल ना चाहते हुए भी बहुत सेडेंटरी बन चुकी है बिकॉज इट्स 9 to 5 सिटिंग ऑन अ डेस्क
करेक्ट
राइट एंड बाय चांस लाइक अनफॉर्चुनेटली इफ यू डूइंग दिल्ली टू गुड़गांव और वाइस वर्सा तो 2 घंटे और वहाँ पे ट्रैफिक में खत्म हो गए हैं बाय द टाइम आप घर पहुँचते हो आपके पास विल पावर नहीं होती है आपको मन नहीं करता कि आप अपने कपड़े भी चेंज करो.
Correct.
That is the level of fatigue that enters your body.
And doing that every day.
Doing that every single day.
But you know what our parents used to tell us? I used to cycle to school. मैं 7 किलोमीटर चल के जाता था स्कूल में तैर के स्कूल ये वो etc. Exaggerated, but a lot of it was true, which means that they used to move.
Yeah.
There was movement back and forth. There were a lot of things. Now everything is set for you. And in every way possible, like low budget, high budget, in every way possible.
Right.
It's a desk job, 9 to 5 every day. You said Delhi to Gurgaon,
yeah.
2 hours one way, right?
Yes.
Imagine. So in that 9 to 5 period, being as active as possible, before and after as well. See, if you're not training, you're not challenging yourself, and then you're getting weaker. Your willpower is reducing, not because you're tired or not because you're feeling tired, because you're not doing anything about it before and after. So it keeps reducing every year.
Yeah.
There's a very interesting Japanese philosophy which says that every year you should have something to do which is out of your comfort zone. Physical I'm saying, whatever that could be, and then throughout the year you work towards it.
That's a very interesting way to sort of chase fitness also, because it's a challenge. It's also something that will give you a lot of validation and security once you achieve it.
100%.
I think all of us should think of that one thing that we will do this year. For
it's
me,
called Misogi.
Misogi. Okay, I think running will be my Misogi this year.
Yeah, exactly. With your knee. So your
with
knee
my
should
knee,
be fine.
exactly.
You should strengthen it, and that is your challenge. That's your purpose for this year.
Yeah, and today was one marathon that I did not run, but probably on the next marathon I'll run and I'll give you a call and tell you that, listen, I did it.
Yes, exactly.
Yes. But like if you have to sort of distill down fitness for like a 18-year-old or a 21-year-old who's watching this, what are 3 things that you would ask him to shut everything out, focus on these 3 things? These are non-negotiables for you. See, or for any beginner.
One is strength training, which is a non-negotiable for an 18-year-old. You have to do strength training. Whatever your age could be, you're 50, you're 60, 70, 80. I'll tell you, my grandfather, he's 93. He can still do pull-ups. What? He does 100 push-ups 3 times a week. He walks, he can jog, he does 100 squats. He's 93, he can still do wide pull-ups, and he solves a Sudoku every morning, and he has a calendar, he has a diary. If he's not trained that day, it's a cross.
Oh my
so
God.
He's at a different level.
He sounds made up.
Exactly. I'll show you a reel which I made for him, or a video.
Wow.
He was actually also in the fitness space. He's Madhukar Talwalkar, and he started gyms, and he started in India. But till today he can do pull-ups at 93 or 94.
That is so incredible and inspirational.
Unbelievable.
Wow. I mean, I am in my late 20s, and even right now I sometimes have trouble in the winters with my knee and everything, and to listen to a 93-year-old man do it every single day.
And very interesting story. He works out at night, 12, whatever his time is, in his room. But he tells me every morning when he wakes up, he talks to himself for 5 minutes. He talks to his knees. Genuinely, he does that. Like, thank you for being there for 93 years.
Aww.
He talks to his organs. He talks to himself. And he says they respond to me. I have no knee pain. I am no back pain. I'm absolutely fine. I can do whatever I want. And he still works. He's still working. So for a 18-year-old, strength training, non-negotiable. Play a sport. Very important. I feel everyone should play a sport and do something to challenge your cardio as well. I mean, it could be sprinting, it could be running, anything, these 3 things.
I think that's a very easy checklist that people can actually follow through. And in the same regard, if I were to ask you, what is one problem that people come to you mostly for for example, you train with a lot of people, right? Do you find commonalities that most of the people who are coming to me for personal training or who are coming to, the tribe and everything, what is that one common problem that you see most people have today?
See, the most common problem, I think, worldwide is fat loss. I mean, whatever you say, that is the most common cliche, you call it whatever, but most people, I would say more than 70% come for that.
Okay.
And then discover themselves. Because some come who have been training, who haven't been training, all kinds of people, but this is the most common thing, fat loss, and then moving into running a half marathon. I mean, I've trained people who have run a half marathon in Ladakh at a high altitude. Wow. Some people, I mean, who want to get their first chin up, some who want to do something to challenge their physical abilities to the maximum level. All kinds of people, but fat loss is something which is the most common, yeah.
Why do you think most people in India suffer through fat loss? Because देखो जैसे जब मैं अमेरिका के लोगों को देखती हूँ, मुझे समझ आता है कि क्यों वहाँ पे obesity इतनी बड़ी problem है.
Correct.
Because everything that they eat, I mean from the cheeseburgers to whatever they eat, इतना fried होता है उनके normal खाने में कि it's bound to happen, right? I see the reasons right there. What do you think is one reason or couple of reasons कि इंडिया में लोगों को fat loss की इतनी ज़्यादा problem है?
I think first thing is awareness. I mean, of knowing what is on your plate. But mostly in India, on your plate, on our plate as well, it is a very I would say a very carb heavy diet. I mean, if you see a lot of men, women in India, do not have understanding of protein, of carbohydrates, of fat. It's coming in now. I mean, knowledge in even tier 1, tier 2 cities, tier 3 cities, it's there.
Yeah.
But it's also very accessible. If you see and it's also portion control, I would say. You eat till you feel full.
Yes.
Which is, I think, not the best to do.
I think किसी ने कहीं पे तो बोला था, and I'm forgetting कि उन्होंने exactly क्या बोला था और कहाँ बोला था, but they spoke about कि you should never eat you should never eat for taste. Till the time you're eating for taste, you'll always get lulled into, eating more and eating. Virat Kohli said it.
Eat to get fueled. Not for taste. So he said मेरे taste buds मर चुके हैं. That's what he said. अभी मैं खाता हूँ जिससे मेरी performance बेहतर हो. That's what he says.
I think that is the goal.
Yeah.
Because यहाँ पे तो, और मैंने किसी और से भी पूछा था, so maybe we'll ask you also this question. On a scale of 1 to 10, okay, how bad are eating momos?
How bad are eating momos? See, eating momos, I'll give a longer answer for this. Eating momos individually is not the worst thing.
Really?
Is not the worst thing. I'll give you an example. Today I've been clean, but I've had say 2 momos. ठीक है. But उसके साथ then later I'll have a biscuit. Then I'll have my chai. Then I'll snack again. So it's an accumulation that is bad over a period of time. Momo in itself is not the worst thing to do. Like, if I'm doing 80% of my stuff right, eating a momo is fine. Go for it. But lovely. It's that snacking which is a problem between meals.
Got it. I think Delhi people will love you. They'll find affinity with you after saying this because Delhi people
again portion control लेकिन
कि ऐसा नहीं कि इतना ज़्यादा पूरे टाइम खाते रहो कि it becomes a problem then.
Correct.
Right. Okay. Fair enough. So coming back to diet, I think we were on the topic of portion control and everything. I also feel ना कि बहुत सारे parents का ये मानना है कि the Indian food that they cook in their kitchens is quite healthy.
Correct.
But when you look at it deeply and closely, then you see कि कितने तेल में खाना बनता है. Then you see कि कितना चावल तुम खाते हो. Then you see कि तुम बोलते हो कि लोबिया में प्रोटीन है, but then again कितना प्रोटीन है और क्या वो तुम्हारे बॉडी के लिए इनफ है या नहीं है. So in that regard, I would love for you to just talk to me and discuss at length about how healthy is the Indian staple food diet actually.
See, I'll give you now. See. Indian food, if you talk about Indian food, it's a very broad term. There are many healthy options. But there's a phrase, ghar ka khana. Chole bhature ghar ka kha lo. So it's fine. Yeah. So we end up eating it. So that again comes to awareness. Ki how much tel should you have? What is the protein? What is the carbs? Now, if you think of Indian food, it can be made in a very healthy way.
Okay.
Very, very healthy way. The spices that we have is actually so good for you. But how much oil do we put? What is the portion of carbs? How much protein should we have? If it's actually done in the right way, it's a well-balanced diet. I mean, if you know Rujuta Devekar as well, I've spoken to her, taken a nutrition plan from her. She really believes in it. Eat seasonal and eat healthy, I mean a well-balanced meal and portion control.
Oh, wow. And if you have to, for everybody who's watching this right now, custom curate like a diet or like a meal.
Okay.
For all those young people, but 2-3 caveats. Imagine it's a 21-year-old boy. Okay, so it needs to be affordable. It needs to be something that he can source easily.
Correct.
And it needs to add nutrition value in his diet or life.
See, affordable for breakfast, what we used to do when we were playing football, because the budgets used to be super low. We used to have 2 bananas, 4 boiled eggs, and maybe a glass of milk at that time.
Okay, doable, fair.
Doable. Or if not a banana, have few steamed idlis. If you want to have a lavish breakfast, you can have eggs made however you want, some avocados, almonds, etc. But in terms of lunch as well now, if you're vegetarian, you can have green moong, you can have chickpea, you can have tofu, paneer, all these kind of protein your protein content obviously has to be in terms of your body weight. Have bhakri. Bhakri is very healthy. Okay. Ragi and jowar ka bhakri. And sabzis, 1 or 2 sabzis, have dahi. Very good. I mean, you can get your protein, your gut will be good, your energy levels will be high. Even for me, I mean, once I stopped playing football, I reduced my non-vegetarian food a lot.
Yeah?
A lot. Like, I have a lot of vegetarian food. It's not that I don't eat meat. I do eat meat, but much lesser. And I feel lighter, I feel more energetic.
So it does impact the gut health in a certain way, because I think chicken takes more time to digest.
Person to person, for me, I just wanted to change and I felt the difference.
Right.
Yeah, see, if you think about Djokovic, he's vegan. Virat Kohli, vegan. Sunil Chhetri, vegan. Virat Kohli is vegetarian, Sunil Chhetri, vegan. So for them, it has worked and they are the highest level athletes. If an athlete can do it, I'm sure anybody can.
Yes, and if they are doing it, then probably there is enough scientific backing.
Correct.
For, upsides to it, basically.
Absolutely.
Okay, now coming down to the dinner.
Yeah, dinner very similar to lunch. I mean, see, it depends what your goal is. If it's fat loss, it's portion control. You want to gain muscle, just increase the quantity of the different sources of protein. If you eat meat, eat chicken, eat fish, have a few eggs. Vegetarian, very similar to lunch. Reduce the number of bhakris, have dahi, have your sabzis, all green sabzis. Whatever your dadi has told you is right. Just don't put too much oil. It's very simple if it needs to be done. It's just that you have to really fall in love with boredom. That's very important.
Fall in love with boredom. Okay, can you elaborate a little on that?
Like repetition. You have to do the same thing over and over and over again.
Yes.
And like we said, you're not eating for taste, you're eating for fuel. And you see yourself in the mirror after 3 weeks, that's a different high again. Like, wow, let's do it for 3 more weeks and see what can be done.
Yeah.
And have your cheat meals once a week. 20% of the times you can have your cheat meal, so it's fine.
What's your favorite cheat meal?
I love pizzas.
Okay.
And anything hazelnut. These two are my favorite cheat meals. Yeah.
Wow, lovely. ठीक है, बहुत सारे लोगों का तो मील ही चीट होता है पूरे टाइम.
हेल्थ मील होता है.
हेल्थ मील होता है, हाँ, कि हफ्ते में कम से कम एक बार ही कुछ हेल्दी तो खा लेना चाहिए.
सैलेड खा लेते हैं मेयो के साथ.
So many of my friends do it.
I know.
Because I have recently turned healthy. Okay,
yeah.
Like my journey has been 1.5 years. So recently I started quitting things like no fried for me, no maida for me. Okay, even bread and all. I'm like
what's
no
the difference
sardo.
You feel?
Yeah, I feel more active. Earlier the kind of food that I was eating, I would just feel like, okay, now I've eaten, अब बहुत अच्छी नींद आएगी, तो अब फटाफट लेट जाते हैं. I would feel very lazy, sluggish. Now I feel active, now I feel lighter.
Correct.
My gut health has improved a lot. My skin also has improved. The only reason I still get breakouts is because my profession involves a lot of makeup.
Correct, yeah.
Right, but beyond that, I have actually seen results in my skin.
Yeah.
And I do feel, I don't know how my body has changed because I've always been slim and everything, but I do feel stronger.
You feel stronger, more energy.
Yes, I feel
Skin
stronger.
has changed is a very big indicator because that means your gut is better.
Yes.
That's your second brain, your gut. Yeah.
Yeah, and I've always, tried to ensure that whatever I eat eventually helps me stay fine, because you know, I just feel like gut health eventually becomes the root cause of every problem.
Everything.
Because it influences everything. Like if your gut is bad, then chehre pe bhi aa jayega, taste pe bhi aa jayega, then you won't eat properly and everything will happen. So I just feel like protecting the gut is as important.
Spot on. You're absolutely right in that.
Yes.
You're right. Yeah.
Yes. So when my friends, you know, when I'm trying to eat healthy and they say ki chalo theek hai, and I'm saying that, you know, maybe I'll order a salad, and they say okay, then maybe from Subway, and I'm like that, listen, from Subway if you're going to order a salad with, you know, 1000 कौन सी मेयो होती है वो, हाँ, 1000 Island mayo,
1000 Island sauce,
हाँ, barbecue sauce, and then, you know, spicy mayo and everything, तो फिर मत खाओ.
पर वो again awareness, they don't know it's unhealthy.
True.
वो टेस्ट के लिए खा रहे हैं कि सैलेड ब्लैंड कैसे खा सकते हैं. That's the thing.
In fact, I was, you know, like now, because we've covered talking about the diet, let's talk a little about supplements, because that is also one conversation that has taken center stage, and I feel nice about it, because, you know, enough awareness is now being created for people.
Correct.
For example, I have always been the kind of a person who's never taken supplements, right? Even protein, I was, you know, told by a lot of people in my circle that, listen, if you can sort of factor in your protein intake through natural sources, good for you. But if you can't, then going to, you know, certain supplements will actually help. It's not bad for you, but do it mindfully. So if I have to ask you, like protein has been my journey, similarly for other people, what are some signs that it's time for you to start taking supplements, but in a healthy and informed manner?
See, a very important sign is low energy levels.
Okay.
So in a city like Bombay, Delhi, etc., you are getting sunlight, but it's not reaching you completely due to certain factors. So your vitamin D levels, for most people, is low. And when that is low, your calcium absorption is low. So vitamin D supplements, your calcium if needed, magnesium. Now magnesium is very important. And
I've actually started taking magnesium glycinate very recently, and I've seen the difference in my body. And you know, that is what happens when you try to analyze what is lacking in your body. You try to supplement and, you know, fill in those gaps, and then keep working out and do the usual, do the routine, and then just see the effects of it.
Yeah, I mean for better recovery. And better recovery means the next day you're going to perform better. So that is something which is taking you to the next level, not just physically, but with your health.
Right.
Because if the supplement is a supplement, it's not your main food. It's a reason it's a supplement. So your main food is your main food. And along with that, your magnesium, you're taking your whey protein, plant protein, doesn't matter. Whatever suits your gut, whatever suits you.
Right.
And vitamin D is important. If you have any deficiencies, you should do your blood work every 6 months or every year and see if you need anything. You need your zinc, you need any iron supplements. And that's why I say you always go to a professional, so you know what to do. Yeah.
No, that's a very that's a better way to go about it than just, you know, listening to somebody hearsay and doing it. Just say recently I was sitting with somebody, in fact I was telling this to you also before we started shooting, that I had no idea that probably I needed to add creatine in my diet or, you know, in my lifestyle. But then I was told by somebody in the field that, listen, for women especially, it's important and you will see the difference. So similarly, there have been people who have sort of advised me to either add, for example, an omega-3 or add magnesium or add, you know, whey protein to my diet, and I just feel like a healthy mix of this helps me navigate my life and lifestyle better.
Yeah, creatine, basically it is the most researched supplement and it's great for men, it's great for women, and there are examples of that. For women especially, because women tend to have lesser muscle mass compared to men,
right,
because of hormones, of course, testosterone. So for that, creatine helps you gain muscle mass because it pushes more oxygen into your blood, it pushes certain things, and because of that you can perform better. And when you perform better, you retain muscle mass, especially after 25 or 30 for men and women. Creatine is very important, but you have to train with it.
Yeah. Can't just be sitting at home and then taking all of this.
It won't do the magic. It supplements your strength training.
Fair enough. And you know, while we're on the subject of talking about all of these supplements, I think it's time for a nice, fun, quick game to sort of amp up the energy here.
Okay.
Are you ready, Karan?
Let's do it.
Okay. It's called Overrated or Underrated, powered by Swiss Wellness. Okay, so the game is pretty simple. I'm going to talk about certain things or say certain things, and you have to tell me whether it actually is underrated or is just an overrated, hyped subject.
Got it. Yeah.
Okay. Stretching before workouts.
Very important.
Very important.
Very important, yeah. So, dynamic stretching before workouts, to make it precise.
Okay, so underrated then.
Underrated,
needs to be done.
Yeah, needs to be done.
Rest days.
Rest days, underrated. Super important.
Sleep quality.
Super underrated. That's the reason, to be honest, I've taken this. This is the Whoop.
Ooh.
And sleep for me, I mean, I can sleep whenever, but sleep is something which is the most important. Sleep and then supplements, your food, your training, etc., etc. If you don't sleep, you're not growing, your cells are not regenerating.
Yeah. And actually, I will, double click on this and come back to this after we finish this game segment, because I almost forgot talking to you about sleep. It's been my biggest nemesis in life.
Yeah.
So, we're going to come back to that. Okay. Magnesium supplements for joint pain.
Not, I would say underrated only, actually. Yeah, because for most of us, other than sleep, if you're training regularly, to help you recover better, magnesium really helps. You might feel groggy in the first couple of weeks because you're not used to it, but underrated. I don't think anything is overrated as of now.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I think all of this is really needed.
Yeah.
Mobility work.
Super underrated. I'll give you very simple examples. A dead hang. For a female, for a male, you should be able to dead hang for 2 minutes.
Okay.
A female, over a minute.
Over a minute.
Test yourselves, try yourselves. For men, 2 minutes dead hang. For female, 1 minute. Whatever your body weight is, you should be able to handle your own body weight. If you have stronger wrists, you have it opens up your spine, and you are as old as your spine.
Oh wow. Magnesium supplements for recovery.
Super underrated. It helps you sleep better. It helps you recover better. Magnesium, especially if you're training 3 times, 5 times, 6 times a week. And if you recover better, you can perform better. So consult a nutritionist, get your magnesium in.
Yeah, 100% agree with that. Tried and tested. Okay. Training through soreness.
It is also training intellect, I would say. Now, for example, there was a marathon this morning, right? Now, there are marathon runners who've run 42 kilometers. The worst thing to do tomorrow is to rest.
Yeah?
So what marathon runners do generally is they do a cool down run or a warm down. There are different names to it, which is very low intensity. You have to manage your heart rate, but there's something called as lactic acid buildup. That's why you feel soreness. So if I've had, like, say, a massive leg day and my legs are sore, but the next day if I go on the bike for 10 or 15 minutes, the blood flow improves. So you have to move your body. Now, there's a difference between soreness and injury. There's a difference between catch and muscle pull, because I know that terminology when people come and say, "Oh, I pulled my hamstring," when it's actually soreness. So that understanding is not there. So soreness is fine. You have to move the next day.
In fact, जब बहुत time बाद gym वापस जाते हैं, and the next day you just know that you're going to feel like shit, because every muscle in your body will pain. I think that is the moment where you actually need to get up and go back again, because otherwise you'll just, sort of feel very, I don't know.
Very rigid.
Yes, very rigid.
But that's when I would recommend that, okay, do a 15-minute walk. Don't do strength. You can do some kind of movement. Go on the bike for 15 minutes. Do something. Do a light jog. That opens up, that blood flow improves with that as well.
Yeah. Okay, definitely, bookmarking that advice. Consistent workouts.
Consistent workouts are needed. I mean, underrated then.
Yeah.
Underrated. I mean, workouts and consistent is directly proportional. Yeah. I mean, if you don't work out consistently, then
what's the point?
Yeah.
Fair. And what would you say is like consistent when it comes to workout? Because बहुत सारे लोगों के लिए अगर 5 या 6 बारी activity कर रहे हो या gym जा रहे हो, सिर्फ वो तभी consistent है. But बहुत सारे professionals कहते हैं that even if you manage to do 3 days in a week, that is also called consistent.
I would say movement every single day. Whether you call it a workout, whether you call it give it any name you want, you have to move every day. What people say 3 times, they mean going and doing strength training 3 times. Up. Next day, go for a light jog, go for a walk, do something. You have to move every day. Non-negotiable.
Fair enough. Managing inflammation.
Managing inflammation is underrated again.
Okay.
Inflammation can be here. Inflammation can also be, like, say, joint pain, etc. Through that, it's stupid to push. It's better to recover, better to rest, go to a physio, get your ice bath in, get your release in. Do not push past pain. When I say pain, it means injury pain. Soreness is fine.
कोई ऐसा एक बहुत ही distinct difference है identify करने का कि what I'm feeling is actually pain or injury, like soreness or injury?
So one, I mean, it's not 100%, but if it's a sharp pain, that is on most cases an injury.
Right.
If it's something that is there with you throughout the day, when you feel the next day, I mean, it takes a lot of experience to identify as well. Even when I started playing football or when I started training and we used to sprint the next day, I used to feel gone completely. And I thought, like, I'm injured. But generally, most cases, injury happens then and there. Like if I'm running and I feel a sharp pain, that is a muscle pull.
Right.
If I feel it 2 days later, generally that's not an injury. So these are the little, not hacks, but little intelligence that you need to identify. But for those who are starting out, for those who do not have that experience, a physio would tell you better.
Fair.
Yeah.
Okay. Omega-3 supplements for joint health.
Omega-3 supplements, I would say glucosamine chondroitin is very good for joint health. Omega-3 as well, because it's good fat. So it lubricates the joints. Underrated. I
think especially when you're entering your like late 20s and 30s.
Yeah.
Because
absolutely.
Sometimes you need to be ahead of the curve.
Correct.
And not chase it every single time.
100%, yeah. That's with your skin as well. They say don't treat your skin when it's bad.
Agreed.
Don't drink water when you're thirsty.
Yes. Fair enough. Because even with, a basic skincare routine also, I've always been told that if you have to start taking retinol, don't take it when you're in 40s and everything. Start taking it in late 20s because in 30s you'll need it.
Exactly.
Yeah, so I think the same is with body. Okay, let's ask you a very different question.
Go for
What
it.
pain is worse? Heartbreak or pain from, like working out or injury or whatever?
For me, it was a mix of both because when I'll tell you my first injury was, I told you earlier, I think I've injured
every part
everything.
In your body.
My ankles, my knees, my elbow, I've torn almost every muscle. But when I used to get injured while playing football, it was a heartbreak for me. Because I was not part of the team.
Yeah.
So at that time, I don't know how to relate the two, but that was genuine heartbreak because you want to play for yourself, for your family, for the fans, for everyone at that point.
Yeah.
You don't get to play. I'm not the best person to be around at that time. I would stay away from myself. Yeah.
No, managing pain can be really, like gruesome. It's an entire process and it sort of breaks you and then you have to build yourself back up again.
Yeah, and then it's also, you're not getting to play. You want to get back into the team. You want to get back into, say, scoring goals. Again, with fitness, our job is very physical. So you want to be there. You have to be there. There's no other option.
Yeah.
You cannot do it sitting anywhere else in the world. You have to be present. Yeah.
But I think that do you now look back at your entire journey and do you feel grateful for where you are at in life?
100%, 110%. I'm super, super grateful because, again, this was a book that I read from the autobiography of a yogi, from Think Like a Monk, multiple books. And every book that I've read says if you're in a state of gratitude, you cannot be in a state of anger or any other emotion. So that's how I start my morning. Like in the morning, I wake up, I'm hydrating myself, I get into a cold shower, I do a few push-ups and I practice gratitude. Like it takes me 20-25 minutes, but I try to do this every day. Yeah.
It's so ironical, I'll tell you what, I have noticed so many men who are actually really big in fitness, who really big in terms of going to the gym, working out, and they're, like aesthetically ultra macho in life. They are so soft and content from within. It's almost like an irony because you would expect them to not be so much in touch with their emotional side, but they actually are, and then you realize that it works in sort of like a,
in unison,
In unison, yes.
Correct. I know what you mean. It's not a stereotype. If you're emotional and you want to express yourself, please do it, men, women, whoever. It's not a bad thing at all. But I think keeping yourself emotionally and physically fit is crucial.
Yeah. No, I completely agree. So do you have a dream list of, or a dream client that you would want? Like a celebrity or a
Cristiano
client?
Ronaldo. You said dream, so then Cristiano Ronaldo, 100%.
No, the fact that you've met Messi and like Cristiano doesn't seem like too far-fetched anymore.
That would be unbelievable if that ever happens. Even if with Cristiano Ronaldo, I get to do, say, one session.
Wow.
Yeah, that'll be something.
So what would his session entail? Let's curate a session for
Session
Ronaldo.
for him. I think he'll train me.
I was about to.
I think he will train me. I don't think I will train him because I'll follow whatever he says at that point, because he is someone I followed throughout my childhood. Even today, I listen to him. I study him. I study him as a project because he is excelled in every department, everything that you can think of.
Yeah.
So whatever he does, I'll follow. I can't design something for him.
No, fair enough.
Yeah.
And if we have to, pick somebody from India, then who would it be?
Ooh, pick somebody from India.
Yes.
Virat Kohli, Sunil Chhetri. I would love to pick an athlete.
Yeah.
Like I've played with Sunil Chhetri in a club for 2 years, so I know the kind of personality he is. Proper leader, very good with himself, very ultra disciplined.
And he's done so well, in the space that he is. He's made India proud at several different levels.
Absolutely, yeah. In every way possible, he's done that. So I think him and Virat Kohli.
With Virat Kohli, I think, it will be very interesting for you to see you do the yo-yo test.
Yeah, because we used to do that in football.
Yeah?
So we used to do that in football and...
what was your score?
So footballers, our benchmark was much higher because it's a physical sport. Our starting was 16. Okay. Under than 16, you fail. So I think my highest was 23, if I'm not wrong.
Wow.
At my peak. So that is very high, of course, in terms of cricket. But for football, it was necessary. Yeah.
Okay, so that's like a very cool list. You have Sunil Chhetri, you have Cristiano Ronaldo, and you have Virat Kohli.
Virat Kohli.
Wow, lovely. Maybe you should manifest this, this year. Yeah. Okay. So talking about athletes, how different is their mindset from, other people out there? And what do you think contributes to that mindset the most? Like that one quality that they've managed to ace?
I think, I was actually reading about this and I've experienced it myself. Elite athletes, other than having tunnel vision, hard work, purpose, I think top athletes have the ability to deal with emotion better. If you've heard Federer's interview, he says, if you win a point, it's still a point. If you lose a point, it's still a point. But you don't dwell. Even if I've won a point, done, next.
Yeah.
So if I lose a point, if I'm going to stay with that emotion for 3 points, then you're done. You're not going forward. So I think athletes have that ability, especially when your heart rate is at 170, 180, max heart rate, and to take a proper decision then in an emotional state. That is that ability that differentiates athletes, I feel. Even Michael Phelps for that matter.
Yeah. In fact, all of them, they've all had 1 or 2, 3 things in common, and they've packaged it very differently because it comes through life experience. But it all distills down to these very things. And another thing that they really talk about that I really like is, having the need of healthy competition around you.
Correct.
Because, even Michael Jordan was one of those kind of athletes who would love to have competition around himself, right?
Yeah.
It would just motivate him, and it wouldn't matter if it's coming from a, like a name competitor or not. He just wouldn't care. Anyone could just challenge him and he would just be like, okay, fine, I'll show you. But it won't be to show them. It would be to prove something to himself.
And just to better yourself.
Yes.
I mean, if you have people, especially when you're a younger player, to play with better players, it improves you way faster. You learn way faster and then you grow faster. So athletes feed on that. I mean, healthy competition, any kind of competition, it's what your mindset is. If your mindset is of learning and bettering yourself, then it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Fair. And since I promised to double click on that conversation around health accessories, which are quite in fashion right now, from a heart ring to a Whoop watch to different other things that are coming into the market. How game changing do you think these accessories are?
When I was playing, we used to have GPS straps, we used to have all kinds of accessories, and the common, if you see non-athletes, had no access to all of it. When you talk about heart rate, when you talk about, say, heart rate zones, your stress monitor, your stress levels, your sleep score, your recovery, it's good to know, but also you should realize that it should not play with your mind. So there are days, I'll tell you, I follow my Whoop.
Right.
I have improved my sleep because of this.
Okay.
But there are days when I wake up feeling fresh, and if my Whoop tells me I'm not fresh,
then your mind processes it as not fresh.
You still go on with your day and do your thing. That is something which you have to really work on.
Got it.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
But interesting. You should have your biomarkers. You cannot grow something you can't track. Think of it like that.
Yeah, and since you've mentioned biomarkers, what are certain parameters against which a person can be called healthy or not healthy?
So, if it's physical health, of course, one is it's called an in-body test.
Okay.
Where your body fat percentage, your height, your weight, your visceral fat, you keep that in check. Metabolic rate, etc. Other than that, your blood work, your hormonal levels and vitamin D, all the basic stuff. And then you have your variables, your sleep score.
Right.
If all three are in sync, then you're on the right path. You're good if all three are in sync, or if you are on the path to improve all three. Yeah.
Okay. And कौन सी ऐसी कुछ चीज़ें होती हैं जैसे जब आपने अपना ब्लड वर्क कराया या फिर आप अपनी हेल्थ एंड फिटनेस चीज़ों को ट्रैक कर रहे हो, कौन सी ऐसी 2-3 चीज़ें हैं जो अगर उनका रेंज needed category में नहीं है, then it needs to be alarming and you need to start working on it, because a lot of time, because of lack of awareness, we neglect things and we feel like हाँ ठीक है, क्या फर्क पड़ता है, कोलेस्ट्रॉल थोड़ा सा बढ़ा हुआ है तो फिर क्या फर्क पड़ता है, हीमोग्लोबिन कम है तो what difference will it actually make?
Exactly.
So
see, it's also fat percentage.
Okay.
Very important. What your fat percentage is, different for athletes, different for certain people. But if it's it's very high, then that's an indicator to your organ, how your organs function. It's stress on your heart, stress on your other organs. So your fat percentage is something first you have to really keep in check. That relates to how you sleep, how you eat, how you train.
Got it.
Other than your fat percentage, I would also say your blood work. In your blood work, basic stuff as your vitamin D levels, for that matter. Testosterone in men. Other than that, say your stress levels. Of course, stress levels is very individual, but how you monitor your stress levels, because there are no markers for that, but you have to take time out to train your mind as well. Not just these things, there are factors which you cannot quantify. There's no test for that.
Yeah.
But you have to take time out for those things as well.
Yeah. No, it's a very valid point, because I'll tell you what, एक चीज़ जो आजकल मैं बहुत सारे लोगों में होती हुई देख रही हूँ, that is called, it's being called cortisol belly. I see a lot of people talking about how they have developed this cortisol belly.
Correct.
So let's talk a little about that. What is it? कैसे आती है और कैसे mitigate किया जाए situation को?
See, main thing is lifestyle.
Okay.
If you're eating, say, late at night, sleeping immediately, sleeping less, bad lifestyle, that's where this happens. Like you'll suddenly feel I'm bloated or I have accumulated fat in my belly.
Yeah, मतलब पूरी body lean, but यहाँ पे suddenly there's a little paunch, especially with men.
Especially with men.
Yeah.
And also the mind. That if you are not able to manage stress, because stress is a part of everyone's life. How you manage it is up to you. Now, when you are stressed, there's scientific evidence where cortisol levels rise. Correct? So when your cortisol levels rise, these things happen. So along with managing stress, along with managing yourself, your emotions, your lifestyle, which is of course a mixture of all the things I said.
Yeah, absolutely. And another thing that, a lot of people struggle with is insulin resistance. So,
correct.
please educate us a little on that.
In very simple terms, I'll say is when you're not feeling energy in the day. That is one good factor to check. And this is also a lifestyle issue.
Okay.
If you are seeing again accumulation of fat in your lower belly, you're feeling low on energy, it's time to get your blood test done. But how do you better it? One is why did our grandparents say jaldi utho? If your work permits, why? Because at that time there's zero disturbance. At that time your mind can do so magical things. This book called the 5 a.m. Club. It's called, the first hour is called the deep hour.
Okay.
20 minutes you take time out in terms of physical activity. That's not your workout. 20 minutes of say push-ups or skipping, get your heart rate up, get the blood flowing. 20 minutes of visualization / meditation.
Right.
And 20 minutes of learning. Read a book or read something on whatever you like doing. So it's a mix of these three things. 20-20-20 rule, it's called that.
Wow.
When this is in place, all your insulin resistance, all the questions are answered. In your day, you're not chasing your day.
You're ahead of the day.
You're ahead of the day. You know what you want, you know your priorities, and you know what to do in your day.
और कितना प्रोडक्टिव और फुलफिलिंग तरीका है अपने दिन स्टार्ट करने का, बिकॉज अदरवाइज यू नो लाइक बहुत बार ऐसा होता है कि एटलीस्ट मेरा काम ऐसा है कि जिस दिन मैं शूट कर रही हूँ उस दिन तो मुझे दिख रहा है कि माई आवर्स आर गोइंग इन एंड यू नो आई एम एक्चुअली वर्किंग, बट देयर आर डेज वेयर आई जस्ट हैव टू रिसर्च, देयर आर डेज वेयर आई एम जस्ट सिटिंग एंड डूइंग पोस्ट प्रोडक्शन. तो ना बहुत छोटे छोटे काम करते हैं, बट एज सच at the end of the day you don't feel like you've done a lot, jabki you have worked the entire day.
Correct.
And that mindset also starts playing on you psychologically, that you don't feel up for it.
Correct.
But when you start your day in this sort of a manner, shuru mein hi you just feel like, okay, you know, I have covered so much today already. You know, I've gotten some calmness in, I've gotten my meditation or my journaling in,
Yes.
I have read something already.
Correct.
And you know, I've already covered basic things, and now whatever the rest of the day, it's ahead of me, it's for me to manage.
That also happens as something called as decision fatigue or procrastination, where for that matter, some days you've not done anything, you're resting at home, but you still feel fatigued.
Yeah.
Because say your mind is fully tuned in and active, you're saying, okay, I will do this after half an hour, after half an hour, after 1 hour, after 1 hour, after 1.5 hours.
Yeah.
You lose a lot of energy doing that.
Yeah.
And it's not only procrastination, it's fatigue, like in terms of not taking a decision as well. So when you are proactive, when you're taking your decisions quicker, why do you feel more energy? Why does that happen? Like suddenly say you're feeling decision fatigue, and if your best friend comes and says, come meet me, where's that energy coming from?
Yeah.
It's there inside you, right?
Yeah.
So then that's something that you need to know, that SNE ki I was feeling fatigue because of some health issue. It's here.
Mindset.
Yeah.
Wow. Now that's actually quite fascinating, because my best friend does call me quite often, and I do feel sudden bouts of energy.
Sudden, like, you know, okay, let's go here and try this, or let's go
Yes.
here and do X, Y, Z, whatever
and
that
suddenly
is.
you're active.
तो वो कहाँ से आई energy?
Mindset. I also noticed that you're also wearing an Apple Watch.
Yes.
बहुत सारे लोग, जैसे कुछ लोग वो पहनते हैं, कुछ लोग Apple Watch पहनते हैं, और वो दोनों डिफरेंट चीज़ों में ट्रैक करते हैं.
Correct.
So आपने Apple से भी किया है अपने fitness markers को ट्रैक?
No, so I'll tell you honestly, this does not show me the time.
Okay.
The Whoop does not show me the time. Apple Watch, I wear it because there's a screen on it, and I can put my stopwatch on. I can see my calories live. This is synced to my phone,
Okay.
the Whoop, so I can only see it later.
Ah.
So this is live. This
And
is
this is later for analysis.
So I have both at the same
Best
time.
of both worlds happening
Exactly.
right now. हाँ.
That's the main reason.
But वैसे अगर मैं आपको बोलूँ that you know in tracking health,
Yeah.
if it's Apple versus Whoop,
Yeah.
which one would you sort of support through experience?
So I genuinely believe both are great. I'll tell you why. Because this, in terms of data, is more data heavy.
Right.
In terms of sleep and a lot of other factors. On my Apple Watch, the reason I can do this is because I can track my workouts live.
Right.
So this has they both have different purposes. Now, if Whoop had a digital screen, but that's against what they do. They do not want any screen. That's what the founder has said.
Yeah.
Cristiano Ronaldo has invested in Whoop. He has a stake.
Yeah.
So he wants nothing on this. So this is I would say, data that you see and study later. This is live. It's not better. Nothing is better in that sense.
It's just preference maybe.
Yeah, it's preference and what works for you. Yeah.
Okay, got it. And talking about what works for you, let's talk about what works for our audience.
Yeah.
Okay, which is like young boys who are between 18 to 24.
Correct.
They are heavily influenced by people in this industry because they want to look better, but they also want to feel better.
Yeah.
So if today they want to start their fitness journey, what are some key pointers that they need to keep in mind?
See, I mean, 18, 21, 15, whenever you're starting something, one is you have to be consistent. I mean, it sounds cliche, but that is super, super important. You have to, Bruce Lee said that, you know, I fear a man not who has 1,000 kicks. I fear a man who has done one kick 1,000 times.
Ooh.
So that is, consistency is, repetition is key. You have to keep doing it to find out how the magic unfolds in terms of training.
Yeah.
Other than consistency, try to fall in love with it, because if you fall in love with it, everything becomes easier. And very important is also, if you can, to have a community where, you know, you have people who push each other, especially at that age. If you are, say, training with 3 or 4 people who are regular, if you have a day you don't want to go, you have 3 other people telling you, no, there's no chance, you're missing out, we're going. So to form that community is important, not just for our physical health, but for our mental health as well, because that will in turn give you happiness every single day to do what you do. Yeah.
No, that is lovely. And like if you were to give a piece of advice to the young people watching this, something that you hold closely to your heart, something that has changed your life, then what would it be?
In terms of fitness or just generally you're saying?
I think in terms of life and experience.
In terms of life and experience, I think the most important is you have to learn to say no. For me, that is, it's not being rude, it's not being selfish in a good way, keeping in mind the bigger purpose. If you learn how to say no, you're prioritizing yourself, you're prioritizing your health. And I believe that if you are a better version of yourself, you are better in everything. With your family, you are a better person in your personal life, your professional life. So in, what do they say, कि ऑक्सीजन मास्क पहले खुद लगाइए फिर दूसरे को लगाइए. सो इट वेरी 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 सिमिलर टू दैट.
इनफैक्ट इस चीज़ को तो मैं पर्सनली वाउच कर सकती हूँ बिकॉज आई हैव स्पेंट अ लॉट ऑफ माई इनिशियल ईयर्स इन लाइफ पीपल प्लीजिंग. एंड शुरू में तो तुम्हें प्रॉब्लम भी नहीं लगता इससे कि इससे कोई प्रॉब्लम है. इट्स व्हेन यू ग्रो अप इन लाइफ, राइट, एंड अदर रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी स्टार्ट टेकिंग सेंटर स्टेज, दैट इज व्हेन यू रियलाइज कि सब कुछ करने के चक्कर में तुम बहुत सारी चीजें नहीं कर पा रहे हो और तुम अपने लिए तो कुछ भी नहीं कर पा रहे हो. सो आई थिंक माई जर्नी with fixing this people pleasing wala instinct started a couple of years ago. It takes willpower every single day to stay on course. It's okay to disappoint people here and there, but if they love you, they'll stay in your life.
Bus.
Yes, but the returns I feel are incremental.
They are, I'm telling you they are, because the true people will stay. And if you're prioritizing yourself, it's good being selfish in that sense. There's nothing wrong in it.
Well, have you also struggled with this?
I think in terms of, yes, I think I have early on. I think everyone has. I don't think anyone's born with it. But I think life teaches you, experiences in life teach you. And when you see how certain things change mentally, then it becomes second nature. No, that is very well articulated actually. And I forgot to ask you about something, so I'll just go back. We'll stitch it baad mein. You spoke very well about the importance of having a community. And one community or one sort of thing that I see really rising in conversations, especially on social media, is Hyrox. A lot of people are taking part in the competition. They love the competitive spirit, but they also love the fact that it's high intensity. At the same time, the fact that if you can complete it just leaves you with a different sort of a high. Correct.
So, like, what is your take on things like Hyrox?
See, anything that pushes you and you enjoy doing it, please do it. Definitely do it. That's why I said it's so important to play a sport. When you play a sport, it drives you. And even your strength training, your training improves. Hyrox, for that matter, I mean, it gives you a sense of purpose. Now, for example, it gives you a drive to achieve something. And then that drive, that willpower that you're building in towards a certain goal, then you're using that willpower in other things. It's changed you as a person. It's not about just coming first, second, third at that point. Or even marathons, Hyrox, a sport, or anything in terms of this. I think it builds character.
No, that's a good point. And आपको क्या लगता है कि फिटनेस इंडस्ट्री में ऐसी कुछ चीज़ें हैं जो प्योरली परफॉर्मेटिव हैं? And because enough people are not talking about it, there is wrong influence on the young people that they're veering towards certain things which eventually will just be performative for you.
काफ़ी चीज़ें, actually a lot of females also, I get a lot of females that I interact with. They come to me saying that strength training will make me look manly. This is something बहुत बार होता है. And it's not the case, it just helps you, it makes you better. I think it helps with not just your physical health, it helps with your hair, your skin, your nails. Everything becomes better. That is something which I think I've faced a lot along. Then some say, khali for fat loss, just do cardio. Example. So initially that might help you, but the more muscle you have, the higher your metabolic rate is. The higher your metabolic rate is, they say now you'll burn more.
Yes.
Matlab, बैठे you're burning. If your metabolic rate is high, you're burning calories throughout the day. So these things as well, like these small things, and this is wrong information. I think sometimes it does spread.
And one other myth that a lot of young people like to believe in is that sex is a great form of cardio.
Yeah, of course.
So it is?
Well, why not? I mean, it's a form, 100% a great form of cardio. Why not? I mean, you enjoy doing it. 2, people want to do it. Along with that, it keeps you younger. So if it keeps you younger, go for it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then I think, that answers a very important question for everybody out there who feels like, chalo, theek hai. If you're skipping, the workout today for something else.
No, you can't skip the workout. That's wrong.
They substitute it.
Supplement. You can't substitute it.
Good one.
You can't substitute it. Post-workout.
Post-workout, like a bonus.
A reward for training well.
A reward for training well. Yeah. As was this episode with you, Karan. I think this was a reward for sort of, doing enough good episodes to have a chance to actually sit with you and do even greater episodes with you. Thank you so much, Karan. It was lovely talking to you, and thank you for being such a sport, pun intended.
Yes, I mean, it was great for me. I really enjoyed it. Thank you for having me.
And on that note, I would just like to give you a token of appreciation. This is for you.
Thank you.
I hope you like it, enjoy it, just as I hope that people watching this episode like it and enjoy it, and tell us in the comment section what was your most favorite part of the episode. And if you guys really like this, we would love to call Karan again. So let us know in the comment section.